Hello everyone, and once again, welcome back to my channel Server Gyan. My name is Dr. Lokendra Singh, and today we are going to discuss about best practices of DevOps. So, although this is going to be like one introductory section only, but going forward, we will discuss these things in detail. So, the very first thing here is when we think of DevOps, so the automation comes into picture, right? So, as much as we can automate, there are two possible things which we can automate, like first of all DevOps, and then after testing. So all the tools whatever we can use in order to make the release and deploy process very smooth, we should opt it. And moreover, like before every single deployment we should do some testing as well. So for that we can use different tools, like we can use Selenium, and for DevOps to purpose we can use Git, Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, and other components. Then after, we should have a very clear requirement. Why it is so? Because if we do not know that what are the changes which are going to be deployed into different environments, let us say we have different environments, so we are going to discuss about different environment as well, like what is UAT, what is dev, what is testing, and others. So before that we should have a very clear requirement that how and what we are going to do with this release, whether the changes related to code are going to be pushed, whether a particular database changes are supposed to be done, when we are supposed to do what. Like first of all we need to make modification into database, or first of all we need to deploy the new code, then after we are going to run query into database. So these sort of requirements should be very clear at the time of like doing DevOps, right? Then after, minimize impact on user. So user impact must be minimized, and this is there is only one way. Like if we can reduce downtime, only then we can minimize the impact on user. So for reducing downtime, we will have to work on different type of deployment methodologies. Like it could be blue green, it could be recreate, or like any other, based on the requirement and based on the use cases, right? So we will discuss about like deployment methodology as well, like what all are the type of deployment methodology we will discuss about. Like how does blue green work, how does your rolling deployment work, fine, how does canary work, and different type of DevOps deployment methodologies are there. So we will discuss about that within coming sessions. Now, regression testing before release. Now, what is regression testing? So there are two things. First of all, we have happy flow. It means we are going to test that, let us say we are going to release a new version of application, so we need to check whether a user is able to log in and all the basic flow which a user performs after login to application. Let us say we are going to release any application for maybe purchasing something. So user should be able to log in, user should be able to check out the components added into cart, you should be able to check out something, fine. Or if something is added into cart, user should be able to release that particular product from the cart, right? So these sort of thing we should be focusing, and we should be testing before every single release, because it should not happen that after pushing the changes to production environment we get to know that user is not able to log in. Maybe there are some like changes in code which are impacting a lot to the particular deployment and the release, and all the users are impacted, right? So this sort of regression testing we have to perform before every single release. Then after, make things immutable. It means things should not be changeable very frequently. So if it is possible, rather than creating new servers, we should try to do the deployment onto same servers. Or if we are using blue green deployment, so like we can recreate the resources, but we need to ensure this thing that the particular servers which are going to be created, first of all new servers should be available before we are going to terminate the existing servers. Don't make changes on individual servers. What does it mean? Let us say we have 5 to 6 application server, maybe 500 or maybe 600 application servers. Number of servers could be any. So rather than making changes on individual servers, we should be doing it in automated manner, as we already discussed that DevOps is a particular methodology where multiple tools are involved. So rather than making changes on individual servers, we should try to, let us say we are going to do deployment in such an environment where auto scaling group is being used. So we can push the changes onto single server. Then after, we can update AMI, and then we can increase or reduce number of servers with the help of auto scaling group. So this will help us to minimize the downtime, and for sure like things will remain immutable. Then after, ensure to maintain release step books. So let us say like there are multiple DevOps guy in team who are working. So it could be possible that sometimes someone is working, and if within another shift some other DevOps guy is working there. So if we maintain a particular release step book, so it means the chances to miss out number of steps, or like if there is any single step which is missed, so it can create some problem within production environment. So we need to maintain a complete release steps book. So what all are supposed to be performed? Let us say if we have to take the servers out of load balancer before doing deployment, or we need to increase number of servers, we need to reduce number of servers, or there are any individual configurations which are updated every after every single release. How we are going to verify it, whether release is working properly or not. So there has to be complete checklist, and this checklist should be maintained for ensuring that this should be part of your release book, right? So we can do this kind of thing there. Then after run test cases after each deployment. So once all the things are done, release is completed, so after that we are going to run some test cases. So all the test cases which were done during the time of release, and testing, so same test cases we can run post deployment on production environment as well. This will ensure that things are working properly even after deploying onto production environment. Now implement CI/CD. So when we are talking about agile methodology, so over here like things are very fast. It means now end user does not have to wait for really long time in order to see the changes, right? So we need to implement CI/CD, and one more important thing is here which we should consider, that we should be focusing on continuous monitoring as well. Why it is so? Because if new servers are coming into picture, so even we should ensure that all the new servers which are created with the help of auto scaling group, these servers are also supposed to be under monitoring. Why it is so? Because we are not going to like create new servers, but the services which are going to run inside these servers should also be monitored. Maybe the particular application performance monitoring, real user monitoring, infrastructure monitoring. So these sort of things should be monitored, right? So these are some of the best practice which we need to discuss during interview, or like which we need to follow during the time of DevOps practice following. So I hope this has been informative. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, so you can write in comment box. I shall be happy to assist on that. If you are new to my channel, so please do like, share and subscribe to it. And please share with your friends whoever is interested to learn DevOps. Thank you very much.